Hello, I'm Kate. Today I'm going to talk to you about Usborne Books and More's writing books. So, we all know how important reading, writing, arithmetic are for your child's education. So, why not provide them with some wonderful resources in the home that can help foster their creative minds and spark their imaginations? These books are great for doing that. Here we have my first story writing book. This is good for ages 6 and up, so it kind of introduces creative writing to your children. They can learn about, they'll have some little activities and exercises. Like here is about the author, which is about them. And mix and match is a little activity. Surprise party. This talks about speech bubbles that you might use in writing. Then it talks about describing things. It will also introduce to them, well, here's an action story, and I love this. It gives some prompts and the action and gives some action words that they can use. So this is great. And it also talks, here is in the middle, but of course it's going to talk about the beginnings and the middle and the end of stories and ways to organize their stories, and then so that they can finally write their own little story. So this is a great book to start the creative writing. We also have a great book. This is Usborne Big Pad, Make Your Own Comics. This is one of our newer ones. We also have Write Your Own Comic Story, like similar to the other book I showed. So this kind of walks them through the comic book. This is drawing, but it also talks about making your own comics, drawing the comics. Then it gives them some prompts so that they can create their own comic. So comic books are great because they're short. They can they can draw their own characters. It's short little bubbles, but it gets that creative energy going in writing the comics. Your children may also be doing quite a bit of journaling in school. So write your story writers' ideas journals. Journaling gives your students a way to express their thoughts and their feelings, and just to journal about things around them, or things that have happened in their day, or things that happened on vacation. So this is just another book to give them tips and ideas and prompts and quotations from some of the famous authors and how they were inspired to write about what they wrote. And so this is just a great resource to have because they will be doing quite a bit of journaling in school, I believe. So here's a page that talks about storytellers have borrowed ideas from earlier tales. Stories from the legendary King Arthur have been told and retold for over 900 years. So this gives them blank space, and they can maybe retell the tale themselves, create their own tale. So that has a way to do that. And what if? Here's just kind of what if and give some ideas. And to give an old story a new twist again. So just great tips and prompts and ideas of how they can come up with ideas in their writings as well. Here is Write Your Own Adventure Stories. And this is good for ages 8 and up, so it's kind of a step up from the Write Your First Story. So it's going to have even more getting into the action. It's going to have even more prompts in it. Okay, I was going to show, Race to the Summit, a prompt, a true story. And so it's going to give some awesome prompts, and it may give some vocabulary to help with it. There's some vocabulary on this page. So this is just a great book, and then they, the more they practice, the more they write, the better they're going to get. And so when, the teacher says, hey, y'all need to write a story on this, they're going to have this background knowledge in their head that they can pull from. So these are great. So this is a wonderful book to have as far as pulling that background knowledge, because it's chock full of everything. It just has hopes and dreams. It just has everything in it. This is just a great resource to have. And if anybody should have a book, I think they should definitely have this, as far as giving them, this talks about settings, character types, persuasive writing, the different types of writing, reports. Your children may have quite a few reports to do in school. Then it goes into some of your conventions of writing, your punctuation and your grammar. And so this, I think, is an essential. This would be a wonderful book to have in the home. I would highly advise it myself. And then we have the creative writing book. Again, also giving lots of, bringing a character to life, just giving lots of ideas and tips and prompts. Everyone's a critic. The Sound of Poetry. It's going to get into some poetry. Dear Diary. So these books, writing a screenplay, and they may even get into, here's imagery. So these books are just great because it just gives your children that knowledge or that information they can pull from because they've been practicing it and they've had a good time maybe creating and doing it. And so these books just make that fun, the writing process and creative writing fun. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.